Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, our mission here is always the same. We take that huge, chaotic stack of articles, research, and data.
And we try to sort through it.
Exactly. We synthesize the key insights and give you a shortcut to, well, being deeply informed. So today, we're attempting something of a linguistic speedrun. We're diving deep into the constantly shifting, creatively confusing, and sometimes deliberately nonsensical world of 2025 English slang, focusing squarely on the language being forged by Gen Z and, of course, the rising generation, Gen Alpha.
This is a phenomenal topic because the language is moving so fast, it's practically a blur. For our source material, we've got a whole collection of, online slang dictionaries, these guides for confused parents.
And just always a sign.
A true sign of a generational gap.
Right.
We also have a fantastic 2025 academic article on linguistic velocity and, crucially, a look at the Oxford Word of the Year for 2025.
And our goal is pretty simple. Pure fluency. We want to cut through the noise and give you the vital vocabulary. By the end of this, you'll understand the terms for social currency, for extreme exhaustion, even the dark vocabulary of online manipulation.
And hopefully avoid sounding dated.
Exactly. We'll make sure you don't accidentally deploy a phrase that instantly marks you as a linguistic relic. Okay, let's unpack this.
So if we look at the research, the single biggest insight is just the acceleration. The sheer speed of linguistic change.
Things that used to take years to go mainstream.
Right. Now it happens in months. It's all driven by platform dynamics. TikTok trends, Twitch chats, Roblox.
It's like slang has become this quick cycling snapshot of whatever the culture is obsessed with that week.
That's a perfect way to put it.
And it's so important to note where this creativity is actually coming from.
Absolutely. The research makes it clear that so many of the most influential terms, we're talking bussin', no cap, they have their roots in African-American Vernacular English, or AAVE.
These communities are the engine.
Consistently. They are the engine of linguistic innovation, and then the terms get pulled into the mainstream digital world with incredible speed. The academic research also gives us a really useful lens for the two major groups in play here.
Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Exactly. Gen Z, born roughly 1997 to 2012, and then Gen Alpha, which is 2013 onwards.
I almost see it as style versus chaos. Gen Z, the original true digital natives, they're all about irony and efficiency.
Textual efficiency.
They mastered compressing huge meaning into these tiny little phrases.
Precisely. Their style is so concise, you see it in terms like simp, for someone who's, overly desperate for affection.
Or no cap.
Or no cap, yeah, meaning no lie. Seriously, it's the language built for texting speed.
But then Gen Alpha, this is the generation born with an iPad in their hands. They're on a totally different frequency.
Their language is hypervisual, it's meme-driven, and a lot of the time, it's just fundamentally absurd.
And what's so fascinating is that the meaning is almost secondary to the reference.
Oh, for sure. Take a term like skibidi toilet.
Right.
It refers to this bizarre, wildly popular YouTube series. So when a kid from Gen Alpha uses skibidi, it's less a defined adjective for cool and more, a cultural password.
It's the sound of the inside joke.
Exactly. It shows you're in the group.
And when you see these two styles collide, that's when you get what the research calls linguistic chaos. A Gen Alpha kid might just say something like, Skibidi Ohio Rizz moment.
And it sounds like nonsense.
Because it is. It's not about conveying a direct message anymore. It's about proving you have that cultural fluency.
Right. The entire ecosystem is built around knowing these terms. So maybe we should move our focus to that social landscape.
Yeah, let's talk about the vocabulary that's defining social status and approval right now.
And the essential term, the one you can't avoid, is still Rizz.
You just have to know Rizz.
It's shorthand for charisma, specifically that effortless ability to attract, flirt, and charm people.
It was so big, it was Oxford's Word of the Year a couple of years back, in 2023. It's the modern way to say someone has game.
It is, but I remember reading the origin was actually a bit more nuanced.
From the streamer Kai Cenat, right?
Yeah, and his idea was more about the art of the comeback. Like being able to turn a conversation around when it's not going your way.
That subtlety is completely gone now, though.
Almost completely, yeah. It's just broadened into a catch-all for charm, and it's created this whole taxonomy. You have W-Rizz for a win.
L-Rizz for a loss.
And then the most desired kind, unspoken Rizz, where you attract people without even trying.
That says so much about what's valued, though. That effort is seen as, as uncool. If you try too hard, it's immediately choosy.
Exactly. And, speaking of the social impact, we do have to mention the critique here. Terms like Rizz and its cousin Sigma, the cool, introverted male, They often get pulled into this alpha male sentiment conversation, and the sources note that this can be pretty problematic, especially when flirting gets described as turning a no into a yes, which,
Completely steamrolls the idea of consent.
right, it reduces attraction to a kind of predatory game. So that's a key tension point with the word.
Okay, so moving from that top-tier attraction to just basic quality. The ultimate marker of disappointment has to be mid.
It's so short, sharp, and just brutal. Mid means average, disappointing, doesn't live up to the hype.
If a new movie comes out and everyone says, it was pretty mid, that's the worst thing you can say.
It's a total dismissal.
And on the flip side, if something is genuinely great, especially food,
It's bussin'.
no cap, this sandwich is bussin'.
Perfect. And then if we look at how groups actually talk, there's a whole set of words for conversation itself, like yap.
I love yap. It's perfect for just, gossiping or chatting on and on about nothing.
They've been yapping on that call for an hour. I catch myself using it all the time.
And sometimes all that yapping uncovers the tea.
Tea has serious staying power. It's the juicy gossip, the real information.
Sure.
And saying, that's tea, is just a quick way to confirm that the gossip is legit.
Right. And my favorite example of a term that's jumped from a niche platform into real life is chat.
Oh, that's a great one. It's a direct loan from Twitch and YouTube streaming where the host just addresses their whole audience as chat.
And now you hear kids saying it to their friend group. Hey, chat, what are we doing tonight?
It signals this kind of unified digital group mind.
Okay, here's where I think it gets really, really interesting.
Yeah.
These terms aren't just social. They're creating a vocabulary for the strange mental state the internet puts us in.
Yes. We now have very specific language for digital fatigue, which, we're all feeling. A term like brain rot perfectly captures that feeling of mental exhaustion from just doom scrolling or watching low-effort content for hours.
And that term had huge cultural weight. Brain rot was the Oxford Word of the Year for 2024, right before the one we're going to discuss.
And it has its domestic cousin, bed rot.
Which I think is a more complex idea.
It is. Bed rot isn't just being lazy. It's about spending a planned extended period of time in bed. You're not always sleeping. You're just existing, watching shows, reading.
It's like a conscious retreat.
Exactly. I'll admit I'm fully guilty of a little bed rot on a Sunday. It almost feels necessary now.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's an admission that being constantly on is just exhausting. And speaking of coping, we have Delulu.
Delulu, short for delusional. It was popularized by K-pop fandoms, I believe.
Right.
And it describes holding on to an unrealistic or irrational belief, but the full phrase is what's key. The Lulu is the Solulu.
The delusion is the solution.
Exactly. It suggests that a little bit of, positive, unrealistic thinking might actually be the best way to get through an overwhelming world.
So we have the language of exhaustion and the language of coping. Now, what about the terms for the content itself? I've seen lore pop up everywhere.
Lore has absolutely jumped out of video games and fantasy novels. Now it just means the backstory, the deep context behind anything. You don't just have an inside joke anymore.
You have to understand the lore behind the inside joke. It implies a deeper level of knowledge.
And then there's let them cook. That's a phrase I love just for its pure encouragement.
It's fantastic, isn't it? It just means step back and let someone do their thing because they're clearly on to something brilliant.
It implies the result is going to be worth the wait. It's a huge compliment for someone in the middle of a project.
And if that project ends up being brilliant but also completely off the rails,
then it's unhinged.
Unhinged.
Yeah, it perfectly captures that wild, unpredictable, over-the-top energy. Whether it's chaotic or just really funny, that meme is completely unhinged.
It's such a Gen Z way of just embracing absurdity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's do a proper deep dive on the Oxford Word of the Year for 2025. Rage bait. This term, I think, perfectly synthesizes everything we've been talking about.
I agree. So rage bait is defined as content, a post, a video, a headline that is deliberately designed to make you angry.
To provoke outrage.
Exactly. And the only goal is to increase traffic and engagement.
And the sources show this word has seen a massive surge in use, which suggests that people are more aware than ever that they're being manipulated.
I think that's why it rose to the top. It describes the fundamental business model of the attention economy. It's not just one post.
No, it's evolved into rage farming.
Right. The industrial, consistent production of content designed to generate outrage over time. Because outrage gets clicks, it gets comments, it gets shares.
And there's this self-fulfilling loop. The outrage sparks engagement. the algorithm amplifies it, and then constant exposure to it leads us right back to that feeling we talked about.
Brain rot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rage bait is the word that describes how the sausage gets made, and now everyone knows the recipe.
It is the ultimate linguistic critique of how our information ecosystem works right now.
So before we wrap, we have to talk about the opposite of all this, the linguistic relics.
What happens when the language moves so fast your own vocabulary dates you?
Right. And for you, the learner, this is how you avoid being choosy unfashionable or looking like you're trying too hard.
These are so fascinating because they betray a physical, technological world that just doesn't exist anymore.
Like saying you're dialing a number.
Exactly. We don't dial, we tap. The verb has changed because the action has changed.
Or, oh, this is what I'm guilty of, surfing the web.
A classic from 1992, I believe. It suggests this vast, unknown ocean.
But our online experience isn't like that anymore. It's a personalized, curated feed. We scroll or we browse. The ocean has become a stream.
And of course, the very idea of a long-distance call. It's functionally obsolete. Why would you pay for distance when WhatsApp is free?
We also have the media relics. I'm thinking of that classic sticker from the VHS era. Be kind, rewind.
Oh, that instantly dates you. Or the Kodak moment, that perfect sentimental photo.
Now it has to be Instagram worthy.
It has to be shareable, even referring to your contacts as a Rolodex, that physical spinning card file.
Gone. And if you want to show approval, please do not say groovy, baby.
Definitely not. Modern words would be what? Gucci, fire, slap.
Right. And these shifts aren't random. They show that language is constantly adapting to be more efficient and relevant.
So what does this all mean then? We've seen how digital culture rapidly creates new terms that signal status, like Rizz, or awareness, like rage bait.
And at the same time, it retires these old, clunky terms like surfing the web. Understanding this isn't just about sounding cool.
No.
It's about understanding the mechanics of online culture, identity, and social critique.
The research suggests English is being reinvented through this kind of playful creativity. It reminds me of the linguist John McWhorter's concept of fingered speech.
The way we talk with our thumbs.
Exactly, that quick, textual, immediate style. And to really be fluent now, literacy has to be about more than just text. It has to be multimodal. You have to be able to read text, visuals, emojis, memes, all at once.
Which brings us to our final, and I think most challenging thought. If this new language is social currency, what happens when it's intentionally masked?
When people try to evade detection.
Yeah. We're seeing this rise in code words designed to get around algorithms and parental controls.
Things like the corn emoji or the letter P with a star emoji being used as code for explicit content.
Or even phonetic phrases like using leg booty to refer to LGBTQ because it sounds like nonsense to a filter.
And that viral nonsensical reply, 6-7, it's all about hiding in plain sight.
So if the whole goal of these codes is to mask communication from the system, how does learning to interpret these hidden messages become the highest, most valuable level of fluency in the digital age?
That's a serious question.
It is, and it's one to think about. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.